Hi and welcome back to the channel. Now today I want to teach a skill that all golfers need to learn. We don't teach this enough. I think modern golfers are always being told to take the hands out of it. And I've done videos on this before, but you've got to learn what we call face control. If you can learn to control the face using these, you're going to play your best golf ever. So come on, let's go do it. So the golfer that can learn to control this thing, or any of these, if you can learn to control the club face through the swing, you're going to play better golf than anybody at your golf club. I can promise you that as well. What we see most professional teachers are trying to teach, which is really they're trying to teach you the tour player swing. And one of the things that most amateurs, I would say a very high percentage of, need to learn how to use these things correctly. They don't teach you that much now, which is a shame really, because it was a big aha moment for me. As you know, I work with Malaska, and Mike's shown me loads of different things, and one of the biggest things that was a real aha for me, because I came from an era of, you've got to try and take the hands out of it, you're trying to use the body more and so on and so forth. And I could do it, I could play that way, and you can play that way. But when I started with Mike, one of the first things we did after we changed my grip and everything like that was to work on how I use my hands, and more importantly, on how to control the club face through impact. And learning to control this, you can hit low, you can hit high, you can hit left, you can hit right, hit low left, low right, and so on. It really helps you to better understand and try and hit the fairways and hit the greens more often. Yes, it takes an element away from having speed and stuff like that. You can still generate speed doing this, don't get me wrong, but it's one of the skills that you don't go and practice at a driving range, for example, which is hitting it left, hitting it right, and hitting it up, hitting it down. And it's something we don't see enough being taught, or I don't see being taught. If you were coming to me as almost as a ranked beginner, we would get the grip correct, and then we'd start teaching you the basic movement of the levers and so on in the swing. But after that, once you got that, we would then start to teach you face control, learning to do this. And we do this right with almost beginners, and they can actually become almost tour players to the fact of they can start to control the face with their hands. Now, what most people forget, these tour players already know how to do this. And when you're developing a swing, you need to learn to use the levers correctly, and then you need to learn to use the hands correctly. And it's amazing when I'm teaching these people and we say, right, okay, now I want you to just feel this with the hands and just do that, hit it left for me. And I can almost command them mid backswing to hit it left, hit it right, hit it high, hit it low, because they've learned how to use hand control. Now, most people, I can see the comment box probably below going, oh my God, you're teaching us how to, you're going to teach them a handsy, flippy swing. It's not. The whole swing is the development of that, and we will use the body and so on and so forth. But learning to use your hands correctly is really a skill that most golfers need to learn. So that's what we're going to show you today. I'm going to show you that, because once you learn how to hit the ball left on purpose and hit it right on purpose, it's funny enough how it's a lot easier to find middle and square. And then it takes the emphasis of having to try and control it and so on. So anyway, I'm going to show you that. I'm just going to show you that, how you quickly to feel that, and we'll hit some shots to show you how it works. So learning to use the hands is a really, really simple thing, but the first thing you've got to make sure you get correct is how you hold the golf club. It's amazing how many golfers still don't know how to hold the club correctly. I was at a range today, and it's amazing how many golfers you see holding grips around here and all sorts of different things, and they don't learn to hold the club correctly. You need to spend time before you do anything else learning how to hold the club correctly. But one of the things is if I put the club in, I'm right-handed, so obviously you put it in your trail hand, excuse the clubs, been at a range hitting shots. But if I put that in my right hand, I hook my fingers underneath the sole of the club here and just put my thumb down on top. You'll see now this right hand palm now represents the club face. Okay, now I can control the club face with my right hand. I can control that now. But if I want to hit it to the left, I turn the hand to the left. I want to hit it to the right, turn my hand to the right, or my palm facing to the right or palm left. If I want to hit it low, I just keep the angle in my right wrist here. See how the shaft leans forward when I do this? If I want to hit it high, I just add angle. Okay, so I can control. I can hit it low left, low right, high right, high left, just by controlling the club face with my hands. Okay, so my hand represents the club face. I can do it also with my left hand. Now you can either put the club in your hand like so and learn to do this, so left, right, low, high, and so on, or I can hold it as if I was going to hold the club, because I have my hand on a little bit stronger. 1, 2, 3 knuckles shown on the back here. I'd hold it around the neck of the club. But again, I can represent this in the swing, so I can go left, I can go right, I can go low, I can go high. So I'm feeling the angle in my wrist do all this to control the club face. Then you can more or less put the two together. Okay, so now I'm going to be able to go right, left, low, high. And I can combine the twos and so on and so forth. So learning to hold the club and representing it either with your left hand or with your right hand, or both, is really going to make you become a more skilled golfer. And yes, it's the same with the driver and so on, but I'm going to be doing it with a 7-iron today. I don't trust myself in the net. I think the net's okay, but I don't trust myself. I haven't got a T-peg either for it. But that's what we're really looking for, is learning to control the club face with the hands. It's only subtle movements, but you'll be amazed at how much that can influence the golf shot. So that's really a skill you've got to do. And you can do this with your own club. This is just my 7-iron here, but I can practice club face control with this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put that then into hitting golf balls. But learn to do this skill first is really, really crucial to playing good golf. If you can't do this skill from early on, there's no point you even continuing on. So with this in mind, we now want you to try and think about, instead of holding the handle or holding the grip, you're now holding the club face in your hands. Okay, that's what we've got to be thinking about. So it's the same representation up here. So whatever my hands do, the club face will do exactly the same. So that's what we're going to try and transfer the thought, okay, or the task to. So all you're going to do from here now is we're just going to practice hitting some shots, hitting different shapes. I can even do this at home. I've got my flight scope here and I can do it in the net. That's why I do a lot of my videos in the net here, because I've always got the flight scope to tell me where I'm going. So it's great nowadays. You don't even have to have expensive machines. I'm not looking for distance here. I'm looking for pure face control. So once I've gotten hold of the golf club and I've addressed the ball, all I'm going to be looking for here is just getting a feeling of how my hands feel to turn the face to the left, to the right, you know, low, high, and so on. I'm just transferring those feels to hitting shots. And this is, like I say, something we get my almost beginners to do, just to get used to the face control. So on this one, for example, I'm going to try and hit this one to the left-hand side. So I'm going to get a feel for how does my right hand feel through impact when I hit the shot. For me, I feel like I use a little bit of my forefinger a bit more to try and turn that over. So I'm only going to go sort of from L to L as well. I'm not going for big shots here. So I'm literally going to go from back through. Okay. So I've literally got a little shot there. Look, it's gone left. Next one, I'm going to try and hit to the right. So again, what have I got to feel to get that to happen? So for me, I'm going to feel like my palm faces through. I push through more with my middle finger, or my ring finger, let's say, on the way through, just to sort of do that feeling. So I'm going to try and do that now and here. So just a small shot, back and off to the right hand side. That go to the right? Yes. Now, once I've done that, because I've felt what that feels like, I'm now going to find somewhere in the middle. Okay, and this is going to give me a fairly straight shot. It's pretty hard to hit really like arrow straight shots, but I can now feel what my right hand needs to do to return to hit the ball, to try and hit one down the middle. So I'm just going to go back and through. It's pretty central. Yeah, pretty good. I can feel the release, and I can feel how that feels now to hit the ball to the center, you know, down the center. So it's like I said to you earlier, it's easy to feel where center is once you've learned to hit it left and right. So it's just practicing that and doing that a lot and hitting different shots. You can even, if you get really good at it, you can even have your friends call out a shot, mid backswing. So, you know, somebody can shout a hook, you can change it because you've got all this time. If somebody says to you from the word go, right, you know, hook, I've got all this time to change that club face through impact. Okay, speed is the key here though. You know, if you're going full pelt, it becomes a bit harder. So it's really, really important that you learn to hit these different shots using your hands. Okay, so that one there, a little low one, so I didn't allow the right hand to release and so on and so forth. So I'm using my hands constantly to try and control the club face. So it's really important that you practice it and get good at it. We see so many golfers really struggle with this, you know, because they're afraid to use the hands. They've been told by their pros, or, you know, they've seen on TV, you know, take the hands out of it, don't use the hands. rubbish. You've got to learn to use the hands. The thing for professionals is we already know how to use our hands, so we try and take them out to try and calm them down a bit. We use them too much. But for most amateur golfers, they need to learn how to use them. So that one I've tried to go a little higher. Yeah, there we go. Pretty straight and high. Bearing in mind, if I hinge my wrist correctly, as I've done in other videos, the ball goes relatively straight. As soon as you start trying to add in rolling the wrists and so on and so forth, then the ball goes a little bit awry. So practicing that motion and practicing to hit different shots on a whim is really a skill that most golfers need to learn. Okay, should have gone left. There you go. So it's a real skill that is actually a lot easier to learn once you understand what the task is. And the task is that my right hand, for me, or my hands, represent the club face. As soon as I can control the club face, I can control where the ball goes. Those who control where the ball goes generally win tournaments. So practice that as a skill. You can do it even as a high handicapper. It's something that you've got to learn to do in order to become a much better golfer. So there we have it. It's a skill that everybody needs to learn, face control. Most people don't learn it because why? They don't get told to do it. Okay? They get told to take the hands out of it. The golf swing, you need the hands. You need to use the hands, otherwise you're not going to play good golf. Once you've mastered how to hold the club and you've got your grip correct, then you need to master face control. I teach this on my Break 80 program, and it's amazing how many good results you get from it, because people are suddenly like, I'm allowed to do that? Yes, do it. I'm telling you to do it. Okay, use your hands. Once we've mastered to use the hands, then we can start to master the body. The body isn't that important as of yet. Okay, it does have a role and it does come in later on, but you need to learn how to use the hands first. If you don't have that skill, you're not going to be any good. Okay, anyway, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it as always. Please remember to like and subscribe, but also come and check out my Break 80 program as well. If you're a golfer that really wants to try and break 80 this year and you're struggling with it and you're a bit lost and you're a bit overwhelmed with what's going on in YouTube and Instagrams and so on, then come and check it out. The link's below in the description.